I'm Paul Brooke, resident Meersbrook in Sheffield. Been involved with Stag, although doing this today has been really a group of us as a collective group rather than something for Stag. You're in the Winter Gardens in the centre of Sheffield, where we've got an exhibition at the moment. We decided that what we wanted to be able to put on was showing some of the cartoon and satirical artwork that's been drawn and developed or donated over the course of the tree campaign. But we were concerned that the council wouldn't rent a space in their own building to lampoon themselves. So what we had to do was to book the space under an entirely fictitious Meersbrook Community Art Club. We sent information to the council, including a written constitution, which stated quite clearly that it was entirely fictitious and for the purposes of being able to lampoon the council. Sadly, obviously, the council didn't read what we sent them, otherwise they probably wouldn't have let us have the space. Well, we've got some of the satirical artwork that we've got on show. Just to give an example, we've got a cartoon by James Whitworth, who does cartoons in the Star, and you'll have seen them, depicting 3 bats hanging in a tree and a police officer pointing out that they're flying pickets. And that's really a reference, as far as I'm concerned, a reference to the South Yorkshire Police using Section 241 to arrest peaceful protesters. And it's great to see that in a kind of visual representation about the kind of absurdity of using anti-trade union legislation to move people protesting about a tree. Got some wonderful cartoons by a local artist, Lydia. The particular one I like is an Amey worker at the top of a cherry picker crane, holding puppet strings, and dancing below are members of Sheffield City Council and South Yorkshire Police. And the caption on that really is around kind of who's pulling the strings here with this contract. And that's one of the joys about using satirical art, is it can really bring home or raise questions as well as kind of bring home points.
It's a great idea, isn't it, to use humour to get a very serious message across?
Yes, absolutely. We've got a cartoon depiction of the council's household tree survey. I mean, for example, they've been going out saying that the majority of Sheffield residents either agree with them or indifferent. The reality is there's 250,000 households in Sheffield. They only asked 25,000 households, and of that, only 1,800 agreed with them. How the council represents that as a majority of Sheffield residents, I haven't got the faintest idea. So we've created a cartoon image of the household survey that says, yes, if you agree yes, we'll cut the trees down. If you say no, we'll still cut the tree down. And you've agreed yes if you don't vote, if you haven't got trees. So it's that kind of thing that I think, using humour to tackle what is the absurdity of some of the things that our council are telling us.
And when does the exhibition continue?
It closes today. We've got the space booked today, so we're here all day. It's been great engaging people from the public coming and having a look at the displays, and we can talk to them about the various image, what that means, but in a humorous way, rather than perhaps in the way that it tends to get portrayed, is that we're protesting. Here what we're doing is trying to use the noble tradition of satirical art from people like Hogarth and Scarfe, who've done cartoon art for across the decades, centuries, trying to use that to kind of make and engage a point in a really interesting and fun way with members of the public.